task force. If he has the time, that'd be a good one to do it. But he's
I love it so much. He just no
comment.
matter how much money Elon Musk gives him, he's like, I will do what you want, Elon. It's fine, but I'll still make fun of you. Like,
Yeah.
I need to be able to riff. Okay, we got economic news from the two greatest economic minds of our generation.
Yep.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk finally working together to make the world a better place.
I love Trump clips.
Dude, he's so good. But also,
Trump clips are so much fun.
Elon Musk is giving him $45 million a month.
Is he actually?
Apparently.
I thought there was something that
source.
he's not actually doing.
Oh,
right?
really?
I don't know. Because Elon Musk just says so much shit.
Yeah, he lies about everything. But I love, I mean, it's also just like bare naked corruption. You know, he's just paying $45 million a month, and then he gets a place in government. It's just amazing. It's you can just pay to circumvent the democratic system entirely, and just become like, okay, I guess I'm in charge of the economy now. But make country to Argentina. Stop predicting the news. Okay, look at this. Look at this. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
Predictable.
Stop predicting the news. This is our news, not your news.
Stop backseat driving.
Yeah. Although you're completely right. That is a very good connection to make because we make the same connection. Anyway, let's watch this. I love how Trump talks.
But okay, well, I've just got something to say about that man's comment. I was just going to say, I don't think they can do Milei in the US. Because Argentina is like a peripheral country within the West, like the US.
Yeah, who are they whoring themselves
empire.
out to?
So you open up so that the US can bleed you dry.
Yeah.
That's the point of opening up a country.
Yeah.
You don't open up your own country.
But
you need the systems of like security and all these agencies to keep it going to then like exhort influence elsewhere. I think you can
that's
cut
true,
like
but
social security and stuff like that, but you still need a
and
big
cut
powerful
regulation for like, because I mean, you had like stuff like with the Chicago boys, like they'd go and try out neoliberalism in Chile, and then that comes home, you know, once they've had like an experiment. So I think it's possible. Like, I think that's a common trajectory where they test it out in the third world, and then they'd bring it home when they've got it down pat.
So much of this stuff, especially when it's America, it just feels like there's so much just rhetoric around it. Like, you know, they want to cut this, cut that, cut this, but it's like, you need it. They really need it. And like,
I think under capitalism, like the only thing you really need to tick off is just like whether this one guy makes more money from this political move.
Yeah, but like this, I think this, like the state regulating thing is good in the long run for capitalism.
Oh yeah.
And it allows for like a organized, concerted influence of capitalist influence and stuff channeled through the state. And the state is needed for the imperial
to give a structure to everything.
Exactly.
And like,
so if you just rip it all apart, it'll just fall to pieces.
I'd hope so.
But maybe they're so stupid that they actually want that.
I think so. I think they're just dumb.
Yeah, exactly. When Liz Truss did it, all the capitalists were like, "Get them out of here!" No,
we didn't mean it.
We didn't mean it. You just do it a little bit on the edge. You can't actually do it, but like you can actually do it if you're Milei. If you're on the periphery, that's actually what they want.
Yeah,
but you don't want to do it internally.
Well, maybe
it's like all these like they put on protections on their own. Someone else is allowed to do protections.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
But what do I know?
No. Well, we'll see. Maybe this will be a change. Maybe Elon is the guy, just the right guy to this up.
Yeah.
Fourth, at the suggestion of
they can hear this.
I can't hear it.
Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement.
Wait, we're gonna have to play this again.
We can't hear it. Tell us what they're saying.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Here we go. Oh yeah, we're going back to the start.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement. That's
his complete and total endorsement.
He's a smart guy.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
I love him so much.
Very much appreciated.
I like his tone.
I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit.
That's so
of the
crazy.
Entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it.
We need to do it.
Go on the way we are now. And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. If he has the time, that'd be a good one to do it. But he's agreed.
I love it so much. He just no matter how much money Elon Musk gives him, he's like, I will do what you want, Elon. It's fine, but I'll still make fun of you. Like I need to be able to riff.
It's amazing how he is constantly doing that. And it's like,
well, I think he hates him. It seems pretty clear that he's like, he actually just hates this guy.
And it's like, I don't know. Do you remember when he was at like some Zionist lobby group thing, and he was talking, and it was like, you're gonna vote for me because you got lots of money, and you know I'm good for it. You guys are so scary with your money, and it's like they loved it. They're like, woo! It's like he's making fun of you.
Yeah, it's so good. You've told me about that one before. I haven't found it. I really want to watch it.
I'll find it sometime.
Who's that? It's Trump. Trump talking to was it AIPAC? No, I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think it was AIPAC. Yeah.
Very funny.
But the thing is, so I mean, Musk heading a government efficiency commission, he is good with efficiency in terms of he fired everyone at Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
He made it more efficient. But I was listening to Chapo on the way over here, and they were talking about how apparently like $24 billion has been lost under Elon Musk. Like
Amazing.
The valuation of Twitter has gone down.
Oh yeah, of course.
That much, and he got a bunch of They got a bunch of investors to loan money to do the takeover, and they've just completely lost shit tons of money.
Of course. But it's also like...
So it's not efficiency. That's the opposite of efficiency.
But it's funny because like he set up even in the place that it's meant to be justified, which is in running a business.
Yeah.
But you should never run a government like a business. Like,
no.
And so like if you set up even in where you're meant to do it, what the fuck are you going to do in the place where you're not meant to do it?
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It's like a government isn't marked by how efficient it is. It's marked by how well it produces outcomes for people.
Yeah.
And like... Twitter's not marked on that at all. Yeah, it's so insane. I love Trump ripping him though. It's the best. He's just like, yeah, he doesn't have a job. It's a fake billionaire. He doesn't do anything but post.
He posts and plays LOL. Or what does he play? He plays Diablo.
Oh, he plays thousands of hours of Diablo. Oh,
hey, I want to watch the rest of this.
Yeah.
To do it. In 2022, fraud and improper payments alone cost taxpayers an estimated hundreds of billions of dollars. As the first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months.
Boring.
This will
Say something
save
funny.
Trillions of dollars.
Trillions of dollars.
It's massive.
It's massive.
I mean, it's funny because like I'm sure what they're referencing is a serious issue, like or just like an issue that probably props up in like every government.
What?
Or just like money falling through fingers, like as it's just a giant operation. So there's so many like opportunities for graft and like weird deals. But I think it's an excuse to restructure the government to benefit big business and put everyone out. It's so fucked.
It's weird because this is a very textbook Republican talking point.
Yeah.
This
like,
big government and like the deficit and like that he's talking about. But I don't know why is he pandering to them? He's really.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I think this is across everyone. Like the Democrats are neoliberal. Like the kind of the main talking point since the 80s has been make governments more efficient, make them run like a business, make all citizens customers.
Yeah.
And that's...
But Trump was a difference to that. Like I think like what Trump did was he gave, like the rubes and all this stuff. He gave them the fun
gonna build
rhetoric,
up
talking points, these funny things. This is very, very textbook
High
Republican.
Street. Yeah.
This is playing to like, the suburban white middle class.
Yeah,
is it not?
But I think that it's funny because I don't think the rubes, as we call them, like this is going to go over people's heads.
Yeah,
because it sounds clear cut. The government's inefficient under Biden. We're going to make it efficient.
Yeah,
like that's the kind of. It's not clear as an attack on working people because there's so many layers of distraction.
Yeah, but and also like the deficit and stuff don't the Republicans block the supply bill every year, and every single time they go to increase the debt ceiling, Republicans go, no, we can't do it. You can't do it. There's too much debt. It's too much debt. We can't do it. And they do it anyway. Because they have to. To keep the system going, they have to do it. And they know that. They're just playing rhetorical politics.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how they can actually do this.
I don't know. Well, this isn't even about debt, though. This is like...
But government efficiencies, they're saying they're spending too much. They're
talking about like fraud, like ostensibly, like they're talking about like money's going to places where we're not sure where it's going, and like we're losing money just from like accounting errors. You know, I mean, that's the ostensible argument for it. Obviously, they're going to just go again, gut like social welfare, which I don't even understand how you do
that's
that.
Fraud, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe that's the fraud they're talking about.
Yeah,
get those bloody dole bludgers.
They're all pretending they're poor. Anyway, this is a more detailed article about what this actual commission is going to be doing. They said something about a 15%. Oh yeah, cutting the corporate tax rate to 15% for companies that make products in the US. I love that so much. It's so funny.
What's the current corporate tax rate?
I don't know how high
is corporate tax rate currently.
Well, in Australia, it's 25 is the corporate tax rate. But then when you take that as personal income, it gets up to 47 or something. So 15 is insane. And I already have an effective tax rate of 0. That's it. Like the biggest corporations don't pay
any tax.
Yeah. So this is just like a signal, like a nice little signal being like, look, we're on your side. Like it's irrelevant because they don't pay tax anyway. Welfare fraud is a rounding error. Whoa! 5 subs. Thank you so much to Amber A. Buy. 1, 2, beautiful. What is that?
Huh?
What is that? I don't know. I completely.
That's my pocket espresso.
Where'd you get that from? I've never seen that before in my life.
Apparently, they're really big in France.
And, we should have brought it out for the French news. Why did you?
No, my girlfriend. She got back from Europe a couple of weeks ago. She loved these, and she brought back heaps.
That looks awesome.
Yeah,
it's
like a really sweet espresso.
Oh, it's sweet.
And I just started to feel a little bit low energy. I didn't want you guys to miss out. I decided to hit my pocket espresso.
I love that he's like efficiency, and we're losing so much money, so we're going to make companies pay less money. Like that is the move to make government more efficient. I guess it's more efficient. It is more efficient though, because that's actually a great move. If companies are paying 0 tax anyway, it's more efficient to just like not put all these resources into chasing them up. You reduce to 15%. You don't have to chase people up for doing all this. You know, that's great.
Well, that's what they say. Like this is what people always say about like increasing taxes. It then increases the incentive for people to dodge them.
Yeah.
And I love when people say that. They make it sound as though we've got
no control
over anything.
Put them in jail.
So exactly, lock them up.
You serious?
That's a criminal.
Yeah.
So instead, it's like, they're like, we have to find the perfect point where we're still getting enough money, but people are willing to pay it.
Dude.
As though it's like the supply and demand of selling something. You go, well, we can't just charge them $30 for a can of Coke. No one would buy it. They'll just steal the cans of Coke.
That'd be great.
It's like, that's not how taxes work. We're not selling a product.
Yeah. It was so insane though. What I find weird about this, like these tax cuts and stuff, is that like it's already so easy for rich people to avoid tax.
Yeah.
Like the whole system's set up so they don't have to pay anything.
Didn't he already do the biggest tax cut in his last term?
Keep them coming, baby. No, I was talking to I want to say friend in real estate, a person, an acquaintance.
Friend in real estate.
Someone.
Aren't you meant to be a lefty?
No, it's not a friend. It's just a guy.
Yeah, sure.
In real estate, and they were telling me about like all the kind of incentives that exist, at least in Australia. I think it might be a similar thing in the US.
Yeah.
The government incentivizes investment properties.
Yeah.
So, because it's a good thing if someone just buys a house that already exists and rents it out and makes the rent much more expensive. That's something we want in the economy.
Yep.
So the government prioritizes that. But anyway, I knew about it in vague terms. I never like got like the nitty gritty kind of general things. Like one of the insane things, I guess, it's negative gearing.
You guys know what negative gearing is? Do you guys have? Do Americans have negative gearing?
It's crazy. So essentially, like because buying a house as an investment property is an investment, any loss you make on that investment, you don't pay tax on. So the government. So
the difference between like the rent you charge compared to the mortgage repayments, if you're making a loss, that loss is tax deductible.
Yeah, which is insane. I'm like, well, if I make really, really jewelry and no one buys it, should the government be paying me for that? Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Anyway, but this is even worse because you're a net like detriment to society.
Yep.
You've no reason to exist. You've come in and become a middleman for a product, made it more expensive, and it's also a product that should be a human right. But anyway, one crazy example of that. So if you get a loan for an investment property, all the interest you pay on that loan is tax deductible.
Yep.
And if you do renovations to the house, that's tax deductible. Yep. So if I get, I don't know, I buy a house and I got a salary of like $60,000, right? So you pay like $20K tax, but I do like $30,000 worth of renovations to this house and like pay like $20,000 worth of interest. I would I would get like a $40,000 tax credit, and that's a tax refund. It's insane. The government pays me. The government pays me to do renovations on my own house.
Oh, I think
that means someone who's like a teacher is paying tax, paying for a rich person to renovate their own house.
Yeah, I think there was a thing like in Australia. Again, sorry, we're talking about Australia. Labor did these tax. There was meant to be these tax cuts for rich people. Labor came in and changed it so that it was more distributed across, low and middle income earners also got a bit of a tax cut.
Yeah.
And they were doing, this is such a great thing. We're doing a tax cut to help workers. It was tiny compared to the amount of tax rebates that go to landlords.
Yeah.
The amount that they were giving, they give so much. And another thing is the capital gains tax.
It was like $1 trillion. I don't know what negative gearing was. It was insane amount of money the government's just handing out to these people who are rich, who are up the country, everything. And they're getting paid to do it by us.
I think housing is such a smart thing to do the tax cuts on, though, because lots of people own houses. There's lots of mum and dads who own a house, and they might own one investment property.
Yeah.
They feel like they've got to benefit from this.
Yeah.
They do. It's very small compared to the rort, which the giant landlords are doing, the massive things that they get. It's just like, it's such a good way to get I guess it's the petty bourgeois, the middle class
on board, feeling like they're big companies.
You're part of this thing. And I think there's the same thing with the capital gains tax, which they did for housing. Howard dropped it down to like 50% for the first house or something like that. And apparently no one was asking for beforehand. It was not on the political radar. It was not a talking point. People were
He's probably a landlord and his friends are landlords.
Well, once they did it, they can't get rid of it now.
Yeah.
They cannot increase that back up to 100% beforehand because all these mum and dads, they think that it's their destiny to be able to retire on the sale of their house. They're like, you're taking that from me. It's perfect.
But it's also
perfect
also, in what world does anyone have to guarantee your investment?
Yeah, I know.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
You invest in something that doesn't make money for you.
Yeah.
You lost money. It's not my job. It's not my job to pay you for your bad decisions.
I think it's a really good inversion of it. It's not the too big to fail. Yeah. It's like it's the opposite. It's a small landowner.
Yeah.
And you get them to be like, there's no way you won't make money on this. But like everything, we need to keep giving you all these rebates. We can't change anything.
You know what confused me so much when I heard this thing about you get to claim all your losses on tax when the loss is just renovating the house. How many rental properties there are? Everything's falling apart.
Yep.
This gets paid by the taxpayer to renovate that house.
Yep.
What's going on?
Yep.
Why are they not doing it?
Yep.
What a scummy piece of this landlord's like, well, some random nurse is paying taxes which pay for me to renovate this house, which is probably like rented to a bunch of nurses for like way over their salary.
Yep.
I'm not going to fix that tap. I'm not going to fix that door for literally no reason.
It's amazing. At least this. There's an idea that we're applying taxes to incentivize certain behavior.
Yeah.
He's saying here, it's ridiculous. We shouldn't be doing these tax cuts. But it's like, you got to make it in Australia, then you'll get a detriment. And then you get this benefit. And it's to offset the fact that, the US wages are higher. So we want to make it more competitive and all that. That kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
But for landlords, this house already exists. You buy it when you can't afford to buy it, then rent it out to someone to a degree that you're losing money. We're going to incentivize you to do that.
Yeah.
That's a social good for you to do that,
That's
to buy
insane.
houses that already exist and do nothing on it.
But also, it's just like landlords are the oldest concept we have. Like, we had so many revolutions throughout history. We've passed through so many phases through like feudalism. We still have this category of people from feudal times.
Yeah.
What is this? Like,
so
what have we become? Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just so strange. Like, it's like we haven't moved at all.
Yeah.
The fact that this type of person exists.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was such a side.
We just hate landlords.
Yeah. We don't talk about this. No, never mind. Oh God, damn it! It's
but
funny.
if you live in Australia, the Greens have announced some policies to try to bring in a regulator with teeth to crack down on landlords, and they want to be able to do on-the-spot fines for landlords for refusing to fix things. They also want to bring in a rent cap of 2% increase. You can't increase by more than 2%.
That's awesome.
A year.
During COVID, people were increasing by like $100 a week. It was crazy.
If you're in Australia, then you know what to do.
There's literally no reason not to vote for the Greens. Yeah. It's insane. Oh, I hate talking about housing. It fucking gets me so riled up. Anyway, the Efficiency Commission. Now we're still on this story. We took a bit of a detour, but there's more to talk about here. Victorian socialists banned landlords from running in their party. That's so funny because, like, I'm sure it's the same in the US, but like pretty much every single politician in Australia is a landlord. Like, there's been on average, how many investment properties these people own. I don't have them. I don't know where the studies are, but it was an insane number. It was like they all own at least like 4 investment properties. All these people need to be in jail. They need to be in jail. Like, I can't think of a bigger crime. It's like, it's such a straightforward thing to do. It's like, you say this isn't legal anymore. If you want to keep doing it, you go to jail. If you want to get a normal job, actually work and contribute to society, then go ahead. You're free. But stop doing this crime. Oh, God damn it. Anyway. So the question you might ask that some of you are, call me fuck, yeah, nice.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Literally, I was just talking about landlords should go to jail. Pretty straightforward. Anyway, so we might ask ourselves, like, what's this efficiency commission going to look like?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
You know, it's pretty vague. I mean, they say tax cuts. That's like what every single American government has done constantly.
Yep.
Since
I like efficiency.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like inefficiency.
No.
That sounds bad. If they're going to make things more efficient, that sounds like a good thing.
I think it's really funny. There's again a side point, but like, I hate to talk about efficiency.
Well, you like inefficiency.
I like inefficiency. No, it's just, I think it's arbitrary when you're not talking about what the goal is. You know,
yeah.
like,
you want to do it better.
No, but if the government's doing horrible things, I would rather they were slower. You know, I'd rather they didn't do it as well. So I'm thinking, like, in my head, because people talk about, like, you know,
but then I'd still be doing it. We're just paying more for it.
Sorry.
Then we just pay more for it.
No, I think my argument's no. I might have said it wrong. People talk about communism or like any kind of big government, even like Keynesianism, anything where like the government has a role in society. They're like, we can't trust governments because they're inefficient with resources. Businesses are much more efficient. And it's like, would you rather have someone who's super efficient at doing the wrong thing, super efficient at up your life, or someone who's less efficient, wastes money at doing the right thing? It's just like, I mean, it's a very clear choice in my mind.
I mean, that's you've created an incorrect dichotomy, though, because as what we've learned from neoliberalism is private corporations are not more efficient at doing this stuff.
That's the funny
because they need to skim off the top to justify what they're doing. It needs to go back to shareholders. And they
has to be profitable.
Do these big monopoly things that we like that should be public owned, electricity, water, all this stuff. They can't do that efficiently. They need to make money out of it.
Well, I think a big example is China's high-speed rail. You know, this is something.
You're always talking about China's high-speed rail.
I love Chinese high-speed rail. It's one of those things where, like, again, China's not it's not an amazing example of communism. It's just like a maybe state capitalism. It's weird. It's got a lot of different aspects to it. But anyway, I think the high-speed rail is sick because it's like, it's a social good and it profits. Like, it makes everything else more profitable because, like, workers are so much more connected to where they work. And society's more connected in general. A single company cannot do that because it cannot be profitable. It's so expensive to make, and the benefits don't go to the people who make it. The benefits are so wide. Yeah. And the only people that can do it is a government. Yeah. Because, like, that they're the only ones that are going to reap the rewards because the society functions so much better. Yeah. A private corporation can't do it. They're literally incapable because you can't make profit from it.
Well, it's the same with electricity and everything like that.
Yeah, any public good.
But the fucked thing with all this privatization as well is, I think there was this horrible thing about with Commonwealth Bank. So that used to be a state-owned bank in Australia, and they privatized it in, I want to say, the 90s or the late 80s. Yeah. It was Labor who privatized it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, woo!
I hate those guys. And then, like, it just keeps coming.
There was something like, if they hadn't privatized it, then Commonwealth Bank would now be worth like $98 billion to the government. And like privatizing it was a loss by $98 billion or something like that. Yeah. And it's just like, why is that not discussed as theft? Yeah. How is that not theft? We spent all the money, it's the same with electricity and Telstra and all these things, where we spent the money to build this thing
and just
then we gave it away. And then they've now got it and it's worth tons. They're jacking up all the prices. And it's like, that was ours.
Yeah.
You stole that.
Yeah.
This was fraud and theft.
Yeah. 100%.
They don't talk about it in these criminal terms.
Yeah. Well, you're preaching to the. I was going to say preaching to the jury. That's the wrong thing.
Preaching to the choir.
Preaching to the choir.
I won't say anything you guys already agree with.
No. I'm saying preaching to the choir.
Let's go fascism.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Woo, fascism.
That's what happened in Yugoslavia. You know, like before fucking the NATO aggression on Yugoslavia, it was 80% state-owned industries.
Yeah.
Again, there were lots of economic issues in Yugoslavia. I'm not gonna. Don't get me wrong, but it's impossible to get any kind of money as the government now in any of the ex-republics. Yep. They used to produce everything. This used to be like a running machine, and then obviously they came in like what do you call it? Regime change, and like all the slimiest, like random slimy people connected internationally would just sell these businesses that everyone built up. Exactly, it was like the government, the state, every single person in the country contributed to make this thing viable. And some random German cunt, like anyone with $10 just bought these like, you know, $1 million enterprises. It's fucked.
But that's the thing with this efficiency as well, because it's like the way that they quantify that is only by looking at how much is the government spending on this. So the government spending less money on it is now efficient because the service still exists.
Yeah.
They're not factoring in how much is society as a whole paying for it, because with all of these cuts to, you know, Medicare, Telstra, all these public utilities, there's always paying more at the consumer ends.
This guy's so lame. Get the fuck out of here.
Who is this?
I don't know. Some lame.
Kick him out of here.
I did.
But yeah, so like the consumer ends up paying more for it, which was previously a public good and very, very cheap, or free. But the government's not paying for it anymore, so now it's more efficient.
Yeah,
but
it's so
like,
funny.
It costs more as a whole.
Yeah, and the government's not making money from it. Which I think is so funny. We had like like the kind of middle ground is like the public-private partnerships where you're not selling it, but you're like cooperating it with a private company, and that is so, because that's like so much better for the private company because you pay, like the government pays for it. So like I remember one of them was I think it was the Lane Cove Tunnel. So it's a tunnel in northern Sydney, and it's like
I know Lane Cove.
Yeah,
don't mansplain Lane Cove to me.
Them. This tunnel in northern Sydney, right? And you know, back in the day, honestly, I think it was back when the Soviet Union existed. Back when Western countries had to do some kind of social welfare and government spending to compete with the fact that, you know, these things existed in the other side of the world. Anyway, back in the day when you wanted to build a bridge or a tunnel or anything, the government would say, "We need this tunnel. We're going to build this tunnel," and you know, that's just a normal system. But after the 80s, obviously all that changed. And now in order to build a tunnel, the government pays a private company to run the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the deal was that, the government doesn't like pays them a certain amount of money, but saves money in that they give a private company the rights to charge tolls on it.
Yep. To seek rent.
And so the government is more efficient. They've spent less money on building a tunnel. Yeah. But the problem is the tunnel doesn't work, because if a private company builds it, what ended up happening immediately is that they assumed that the market works and there's an equilibrium, that like the company wants to make profit. The best way for them to make profit is to charge cheap tolls so they could push all these people through, and like we'll have a perfect functioning society. In the first like month of the tunnel being out, it was a catastrophe because they had insanely expensive tolls, because obviously it actually worked out a lot better to pay huge amounts. So you have like
one person driving the car through for $200,000.
Yeah, have 5 people in a tunnel. You don't wear down the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You make so much money. It's like, it's the perfect way to do it. And the government saw that and they're like, look, we've paid for this thing that's completely useless because it doesn't alleviate traffic because there's like 3 people in this thing. And so they had to renegotiate the contract, which cost even more money. And it's just like, obviously private businesses aren't capable of doing this shit.
But then also when that happens, normally then to make up the difference, the
government
has to normally pay more to the private thing to be like, here's some money, lower your fees.
Yeah, you're making a loss. I understand that. I'm going to pay you more so we can just have people coming through this.
Which is the negative gearing logic.
Yeah,
it's the negative gearing logic again. Just cut this out of it.
Yeah,
get this guy out of the picture.
Job? What is his job? I don't understand.
I hate
his job is to make money off of government projects.
You've bought the right to be the standover man to ask other people, give me money. You've awesome. Paid for the rights to be like, give me money.
I hate this. It's funny. It's funny in how badly this stuff works. Yeah. Like But then it's annoying realizing you're a person who has to use these services. Like, I need to use this tunnel to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It costs $20 because the government's not doing its job.
As Richard Wolff would say, it's the biggest hustle since sliced bread.
It's that reminds me of the LA to Las Vegas high speed rail. What the is that? I mean, yeah, it's so much funnier. You look to private business to deliver these things because it's more efficient. Yeah. And the conclusion is either they never do it because it's not profitable, or they make it profitable by making it not work.
I know.
You know, like
it's so depressing because I'm just thinking of all these examples of like, you know, the UK trains is the same thing, and all of chat, you're all posting all these examples. It's everywhere. It's literally everything. The same thing happens, but every single day, another government around the world just starts doing the same thing. No one has figured out a way to do anything other than this.
Yeah.
This is the only logic. The only rationality
That's the
to
end of
move
history,
forward.
baby. We've capitalism's won. This is the only game in town. Same thing is happening in medical innovations. Drug companies get to charge whatever they want and maintain a trademark for years, even though when you follow the money, it's actually paid for by government grants and charities. There was an interesting paper tracking it for a recent tuberculosis treatment as an example. Yeah, that's so insane. Like, we provide all this money for this public good, and then just some random cunt just gets to like, he's like, oh, this is mine now.
Here you go. No, you better have it. Yeah. You'll do a better job than me.
I'm not efficient enough with this thing.
No, I don't think I could do it. Yeah. No, you're right. You should have it. Sorry.
It's just being cucked. It's being cucked.
Cuck government.
It's so bad.
Stand up for yourself.
But like, yeah.
Let's get out of Trump.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get back into it. There's more of it coming up. I need to go to the toilet, though.
Okay.
So if you can keep ranting. also, press that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
go. Okay. Oh, my goodness me.
What's up?
You shook way too many times.
I got a big... There's a lot of piss.
Surely
there's a lot of piss
the bigger,
inside that
you only have to shake once because it will just continue rippling.
No, the bigger one, because the force of gravity like curves it in on itself. So there's lots of like pockets where piss can get trapped in the urethra. So you got to shake it like that, and then you got to like squeeze it down this way. And
it's not a different shirt. We have a very cold bathroom.
Yeah,
he had to put on a jumper to go to the bathroom.
We keep the bathroom cold because we have this problem. Actually, I'm pretty sure everyone kind of does it. Where let's say you go do a poo, and then you're on your phone the whole time. And you end up sitting in the bathroom for much longer than you should, and it's really bad for you can get a prolapse if you do it consistently for years. So we decided just to turn the aircon on really, really cold in the bathroom.
It's also to prevent George Costanza from taking off his shirt.
What is that one?
We don't want him taking off his shirt in the bathroom.
No, I don't know.
So we make it really cold, so you have to put on more layers. It's a Seinfeld bit. George takes off his shirt to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
it's the only time Mum has ever laughed at Seinfeld.
Wait, really?
She hates Seinfeld, but she like...
This is how Chinese mum sells.
Yeah, she was watching it just with a scowl on her face. She hated it. And then that joke came up. She found it very funny.
Anyway, Milei is bringing prosperity to Argentina. This is the same discussion we've been having. We're trying to work out what an efficiency commission run by Elon Musk will look like for the American people, the American government. So this is a pretty good bet, right? This is a very radical economic manager that Elon Musk seems to like look up to. So Mario Naufal, of a great Twitter account, continues to defy. Oh yeah, Javier Milei continues to defy critics with an economy that has outperformed predictions, pursuing bold national security reforms, including aiming for a NATO global partnership. They already have that. They already have that in South America. It's called the Organization of American States or something. Like whatever. Let him do it. It's all virtue signaling. It's all virtue signaling for like fascist dictatorships around the world. They want to show that they're on the right side. Double NATO. Yeah, it's so good. Oi, we love Milei. I don't even know what the Argentinian national anthem is. Milei. Why does Argentina even need NATO? It's so strange. It's such a psycho move. Milei's aggressive cuts in public spending, deregulation, and currency stabilization have led to fiscal surpluses and reduced inflation. Because we all know that this is the most important thing, is a fiscal surplus. And what are they going to do with that money? Hand it out to their rich friends. Reduce inflation is nice, but again, we're going to get into an article about that. Despite previous concerns about his libertarian policies, Milei's leadership has strengthened Argentina's economic and international standing while rejecting alliances with blocs like BRICS.
Well, you don't want to be part of BRICS.
No.
They got nothing going on.
No. What's China? or it's not like an unimportant country with a failing economy. His approach has garnered praise for boosting entrepreneurship. This sounds like it's whoever's doing the press releases for Milei on Fox News is just an Andrew Hustle University guy.
This can't actually be the Fox News. I wonder if this is actually the Fox News thing or this is.
Yeah.
Despite previous concerns about his libertarian policies, his leadership has strengthened Argentina. It's a North Korean thing to say.
Our supreme leader.
Our supreme leader knows
Milei.
everything. He's done everything perfectly.
Oh my god, he's so ugly. But that's neither here nor there.